Welcome to the Deep Dive, everyone. This is the show where we, jump right into the sources you care about, pull out those key insights, and maybe find some wisdom we weren't expecting.
Exactly.
And today, well, we're doing something a little unique for our deep dive. We don't have a stack of papers this time.
No, it's quite different.
We're actually dissecting just one source. It's a promotional trailer, believe it or not, for a show with the provocative title, Gastronomique Disdain. Field Reports.
That title alone tells you quite a bit, doesn't it?
It really does. So our mission today for this deep dive is to kind of peel back the layers here. Look at the humor, the satire, and maybe those surprising little insights that are packed into this really short but, wow, vivid glimpse.
It's dense. It's definitely dense for a trailer.
It is. It's not just selling a show. It feels like a narrative appetizer all on its own. It promises, and this is a direct quote, a satirical collision of refinement, rustic horror, and canine distraction.
Quite the tagline.
Isn't it? So get ready, because I think this deep dive is going to open your eyes to a pretty unforgettable world.
Looking forward to it.
Okay, so let's unpack this. The trailer kicks off, and immediately we meet this character, Reginald Archibald Fronsworth III. Feels like he walked right out of, I don't know, some P.G. Wodehouse novel.
Right, very much that archetype.
He's labeled the critic, and the trailer says he hails from the genteel halls of high cuisine. You can almost smell the truffle oil, can't you?
Can you picture the whole scene, yeah. The white tablecloths, the tiny forks.
Exactly. But then, boom, curveball. This titan of taste, this refined gentleman, apparently dares to descend into madness.
Okay, where does this madness take him?
That's the best part. It leads him straight into the grease-stained backyards of Nova Scotia.
Wow, okay. That's quite the contrast.
Isn't it just a mental image? It's that classic fish out of water thing, but dialed up to 11.
Well, what's fascinating there, right from those first moments, is just how effectively the trailer sets up these, extreme contrasts. It's almost jarring.
Totally jarring.
In just a few seconds, you're not just moving geographically, you're thrown across this huge cultural gap, really, from that world of, refined expectations.
Meticulously plated food.
Right, art on a plate, essentially. And then you land in a place that seems to be, well, the complete opposite.
Yeah, the implication is pretty clear.
And it's not just a change of setting, is it? It feels like a clash of basic ideas about food, maybe even about life itself. The trailer uses this contrast deliberately, I think, for satirical effect.
Oh, absolutely.
It kind of makes you think, if you, listening right now, were the top expert in your own very specific, maybe very refined field, and suddenly you were just dropped into a completely alien, totally unfiltered environment, what kind of weird challenges would pop up? How would you even cope?
That's such a good point.
Mm-hmm.
We connect with it because we've all felt out of our depth, right? Maybe not that out of depth, but still.
Exactly. That feeling of, what is happening here?
And Reginald's reaction, his grievances once he's actually in this world, oh boy, they are something else. His gastronomique disdain isn't subtle.
No raised eyebrow here.
No, it's more like a full-blown meltdown. He says, and I have to quote this because it's just too good, "I was promised dinner. Instead, I was served a chicken impaled upon a beer can.
Impaled. Wow.
A salad suffocated by mayonnaise, and squirrel testicles disguised as appetizers."
Okay, just let that list hang in the air for a second.
Right. A chicken impaled on a beer can. The word choice, it sounds almost medieval.
It does, like some kind of culinary torture.
And the salad suffocated by mayonnaise. Not dressed, suffocated, like it's being murdered by condiment.
It paints a picture, a very vivid, slightly horrifying picture.
And then squirrel testicles. Disguised. As if you could disguise that as appetizers. I mean, the sheer audacity.
The nerve.
It just blows up every single rule of fine dining Reginald would live by.
It's shocking, yeah, but it's also incredibly funny because it's so extreme. And connecting that back, these descriptions are textbook rustic horror, but used brilliantly for comedy.
Explain that a bit more, the rustic horror idea.
Well, the trailer uses these exaggerated but, recognizably non-gourmet dishes.
Definitely non-gourmet.
Not just to get a laugh or make you recoil, but really to highlight Reginald's total shock and, importantly, the show's satirical jab at snobbery.
Right. It's punching up, in a way.
Exactly. And the words he uses, impaled, suffocated, disguised, that's his refined language crashing head-on with this incredibly crude reality.
That mismatch is where a lot of the humor comes from.
Precisely. It's a classic comedic setup. You put this highfalutin sensibility up against what it sees as, well, just awful. It's not just about, ew, gross food. It's about these two worlds colliding, where one person's dinner is another's nightmare, turns eating into this sort of cultural battlefield.
So is that rustic horror just for laughs? Or does it make us, the audience, a bit uncomfortable too? Maybe question our own food snobbery?
I think it does both, absolutely. It plays on that basic human unease about unfamiliar food, things we wouldn't normally eat. But then it immediately undercuts that discomfort with Reginald's over-the-top, almost theatrical outrage. That creates this really interesting comedic tension. It's sharp satire aimed right at the pretensions that can sometimes surround high cuisine when it meets, unvarnished reality. It's like a comedic takedown of food snobbery.
That makes perfect sense. And the trailer is smart because it doesn't just leave us with Reginald's misery, however funny it is. It immediately gives us the other side of the coin.
Yes, the counterpoint.
Enter Uncle Dave.
Yeah.
Labeled perfectly, I think, as the glum fabricator. He's not just a different character, he's like the philosophical opposite of Reginald.
A direct challenge to his whole worldview.
Totally. Uncle Dave's view on food is, well, let's just say it's different. It cuts through all the fuss. He says, and again, the quote is just perfect in its bluntness, "Food's hot, plates are clean, dog's happy, that's supper, quit crying."
Boom. Mic drop.
Right? It's so simple, so practical, it's almost jarring in its own way.
And this is where the trailer gets really clever, I think. It moves beyond just jokes about weird food into this deeper discussion about what actually makes a meal good, or even what makes life good.
Yeah, what matters?
Uncle Dave's simple, utilitarian view is just worlds apart from Reginald's complex, critical approach. For Dave, food is fuel, it's comfort, it's maybe community, including the dog.
The dog is key.
The dog is definitely key. It's a kind of basic, practical wisdom, whereas for Reginald, food is art, it's intellect, it's this delicate performance.
Two completely different languages.
Exactly. And the trailer uses them brilliantly to show these different cultural outlooks, maybe class differences too, but also just fundamentally different ways of looking at the world. It makes you ask, what is the point of eating? Nourishment, pleasure, status, just getting through the day.
And what does Uncle Dave's view say about maybe resilience or regional identity? Or maybe it's even a quiet critique of how obsessed we can get with fancy food.
All of that could be in there. It definitely makes us reflect. You have to wonder, is Reginald's horror sometimes justified? I mean, squirrel testicles?
Yeah, fair point.
Or is Uncle Dave's pragmatism just the ultimate truth? Does it always win?
That's probably what the show digs into, that tension.
I think so, because Uncle Dave's line, it's not just funny, it's actually quite powerful. It grounds everything in this simple reality lots of people can connect with. It suggests maybe Reginald, for all his fancy words, is kind of missing the point.
That the real value of a meal isn't in the description.
Maybe it's just in the fact that it's hot, the plate's clean, and the dog's happy, and that simple dismissal, quit crying, it's almost more devastating to Reginald than any bad review he could write. It questions his entire reason for being, professionally speaking.
Okay, so we have this huge clash. Refinement versus rustic reality, complex critique versus basic needs. And just when you think that's the whole story.
There's more.
Oh, there's more. The trailer brings in the third act. Winston the Cockapoo.
The canine distraction arrives.
He arrives in style, described as equal parts loyal companion and relentless practitioner of nether region self-care.
Oh my, that phrasing.
Isn't it something? It just paints this picture of utter chaos surrounding poor Reginald. Can you even imagine trying to critique anything, let alone fried vermin, with that sound constantly emanating from under the table?
It adds a whole new sensory dimension to the horror.
It really does. And Reginald, naturally, is struggling. He says with this deep sigh in his voice, basically, it is impossible to describe the texture of fried vermin while a dog conducts an extended sonata beneath the table.
An extended sonata? That's poetry born of suffering.
It is. Just brilliant writing. Captures the complete breakdown of any semblance of formality or critical focus.
But of course, Uncle Dave sees it differently.
Of course. Uncle Dave's take on Winston's activities. Better than silence. Keeps you on your toes.
Perfect, just embraces the chaos.
Completely. It just sums up the whole messy, unfiltered reality Reginald's trapped in and Dave's total acceptance of it.
Winston's role here is, well, it's crucial, isn't it? He's the canine distraction, sure, and provides amazing comic relief. But he's more than just a funny dog.
How so?
He's like an active participant in tearing down Reginald's composure. That constant slurping, the sonata, it just cranks up the absurdity dial. It turns an already bad situation into pure farce.
He's the embodiment of everything Reginald hates.
Exactly. He's this living, breathing, kind of gross symbol of the rustic reality that Reginald finds so appalling. The trailer promises canine distraction, and Winston delivers. Big time. And it highlights this, basic truth. Life, even the serious bits, gets constantly interrupted by ridiculous, uncontrollable animal things.
Like a dog grooming itself during dinner.
Precisely. His presence forces Reginald, and us, really, to think about what actually matters when you're judging something. It shows how humor, especially satire, often comes from those interruptions, that chaos, particularly when it crashes into attempts at being serious or refined.
So Winston isn't just funny. He's almost a symbol of life's unpredictability, just constantly messing with Reginald's need for order.
Yeah, you could definitely see him that way. He's the ultimate chaos agent, completely unaware of the human drama. His needs are simple: food, naps, self-care.
Right. Very different from Reginald's needs.
Worlds apart. And the fact that Uncle Dave is fine with it, even likes it, keeps you on your toes, just widens that gap between the main characters. It's really smart writing, using this seemingly minor character to deepen the whole conflict and boost the satire.
So putting it all together, what's the takeaway from this trailer for Gastronomique Disdain? Field reports. I mean, it sounds like quite a ride.
It really does.
The trailer itself sums it up perfectly, I think, that phrase. A satirical collision of refinement, rustic horror, and canine distraction. It seems like it's about way more than just food or making fun of a snob.
Absolutely. This little trailer is like a masterclass in setting up a world and getting you hooked. It uses these huge contrasts, the beer can chicken versus whatever Reginald usually eats, the squirrel testicles, and then Winston just doing his thing.
Can't forget Winston.
Never forget Winston. It uses all that to build this really funny and compelling story frame. The show itself, judging by this taste, it looks set to explore not just food, but this massive clash of worlds, of expectations, of basic human values, maybe.
Like what happens when your carefully built reality just gets completely smashed by something raw and real?
Exactly that. It's a deep dive into how things fall apart when faced with the untamed, the unfiltered, the unapologetically real. Finding the humor in that discomfort, and maybe even understanding what actually makes a meal, or maybe life itself, truly satisfying.
It really does make you think about your own standards, doesn't it? Your own ideas of taste versus, I don't know, comfort or reality.
For sure.
So here's a final thought for you, listening out there. Thinking about Reginald's truly unique ordeal. If you had to choose, really had to choose, would you rather sit down to a meal of fried vermin with Winston performing his extended sonata right under your chair?
Oh, the choice.
Or would you prefer an exquisitely made, technically perfect meal that was so boring, so utterly lacking in character, that you forgot it the second you finished? Which is worse? What does gastronomic disdain really mean to you when you strip away all the fancy stuff?
That's a tough one to chew on.
Something to think about. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the gloriously chaotic world promised by Gastronomique Disdain.
Thanks, everyone.
We hope you'll join us again next time for another look inside the source.